Good morning, children. Today we are going to start with the topic regulation of urine output, page 118. The pituitary gland and diuresis increases the production of urine. The concentration of urine by water reabsorption is controlled by antidiuretic hormone, that is ADH, which is secreted by the posterior lobe of the pituitary gland. This pituitary gland is the one which controls the production of urine, and it produces an antidiuretic hormone called ADH, or short form is ADH, and it is secreted by the posterior lobe of the pituitary gland. And if ADH secretion is reduced, there is increased production of urine. If ADH secretion is less, then the urine production is more, and this is called diuresis. And certain substances also increase the formation of urine, and those substances are called diuretics. For example, liquid diets, tea, coffee, alcohol, etc. Then next is gout and kidney stones. And the uric acid is relatively less soluble in water and may crystallize and get deposited in the joints, causing gouts. This uric acid, it is not that much soluble in water, and so it gets crystallized and it gets deposited in our joints. And excessive uric acid and certain salts like calcium oxalate may be the source of kidney stone. So when there is too much of uric acid in our body, and the salts like calcium oxalate are there, then kidney stones are formed. And when kidneys are not working fully normally, and these stones are formed when, if by chance the kidneys are not functioning properly, then these kidney stones are formed. Next we come over to osmoregulation. And the kidney, while removing waste like urea from the blood, also regulates its composition, that is the percentage of water and salts. So when kidneys remove the urea from the blood, even the composition of the blood is maintained by the kidneys, and that is the percentage of water and salts is regulated, and this function is called osmoregulation, and it implies the regulation of osmotic pressure of blood. And here the water balance in the body is given. You can go through this table. Then next is drinking enough water directly or through food helps the kidneys in their proper working. And in tropical climate, as in our own country, we drink a lot of water during summers. And when we urinate fewer times in summers, though water intake is more in summers, but the urination is less as compared to that in winters. And the urine passed during summers is generally thicker. And why it is so? Because we lose a considerable part of water through perspiration, through sweat, and the kidneys have to reabsorb more water from the urine, making it more concentrated. So this is the answer if you are asked why do we urinate for a few times in winters, fewer times in summers than in winters, and the urine passed is thicker. The answer is given here. Next is in cholera. When a person is suffering from cholera and he's vomiting and the watery bowels are there, his intestines are unable to absorb water into the blood. And the result is that his kidneys reabsorb almost all the water from the urine in the renal tubule, and with it even the urea. So kidneys, they absorb almost all the water, and along with that water even urea is absorbed, and ultimately the patient may die due to poisoning by the accumulation of high quantities of urea in his body, and this is called uremia. And the immediate treatment to replenish water in the blood by glucose saline drip or by giving oral rehydration solution through the mouth. So to avoid dehydration, we are giving the glucose saline drip, or we are orally taking the ORS, that is oral rehydration solution. Next is artificial kidney. If one kidney is damaged or removed for some reason, the other alone is sufficient to perform the excretory function, and a person can lead a normal life. But if both the kidneys fail, it can even lead to death. An artificial kidney is a dialysis machine, and the patient's blood is led from the radial artery in his arm. It is in the wrist, it is felt. We feel the pulse by just putting our fingers over the radial artery. Through the machine where the urea and excess salts are removed, and the purified blood is returned to the vein in the same arm. So the blood of the person is taken out through the radial artery and is passed through a machine, and that machine purifies the blood, and again the blood is put into the body of a person with the help of the vein which is present in the wrist again or in the same arm. And in cases of permanent damage to the kidneys, dialysis is to be repeated about 12 hours twice a week. So this is the way a person can manage, and the lesson is over. And here they have given you summary of the excretion in humans. You can go through this table also, and with this the lesson is over.